920 Society Mastermind. Today is day 10 of 21 Total Life Transformation and Inner Wealth. I'm going to try and do this lesson today, this day 10, without crying in front of you, okay? Because this is so near and dear to my heart and for every coaching client, for everybody I meet, that I want us to go from being the soul train who could not to the soul train who could. You know, the little book, The Engine That Could. Well, this is going to be the soul train who could, because we got to go from the could not to the could. Now, let me explain what this is about. Is that so many of us, we don't realize how beautiful this soul train that we've been given is. And that soul train is made up of the mind, the will, and the emotions. That is the soul, mind, will, and emotions. And today, this is all about the emotions, not suppressing the feelings or instincts that you're having right now. Understand and honor your emotions, the caboose of your life. And things may be going so well in your life right now. Things may be so fantastic. You're just so excited and you're just pumped. But we know that tomorrow that may be different or just the opposite. You may be down, you may be depressed, your emotions are telling you something. Well, pay attention. I'm going to show you why that the caboose is so important to this thing called the train. And the train is a Latin word, trahere, however you pronounce it in Latin. But that's the Latin word. And really is interesting. It means pull and drag, pull and drive. Be connected, one thing connected to the other, and pull it and drag it, just like your body, to train your body. They're all connected, different parts. Pull it, drag it, to train it. Folks, we are here to transform all things with our emotions from the soul train. But yet, we allow so many times that things are going on the stations in life that we get to along our train track that's been given to us. And we allow it to change our emotions, and then our emotions to dictate what way the train's going. And guess what? The caboose cannot be dragging the will and the mind along. So this is all about transforming all things with your emotions and getting those emotions in sync with your will and your mind, and letting that will and mind know what's going on. This is all about belief in action. Now, this is your mind, the engine. This is the will, which is the coal car. The coal is nothing more than belief systems. So if you don't like what's going on in the engine, you don't like the way you're chugging along, it's got bad coal. And you could be going really fast. You could be going to some cool destinations, but the engine is not feeling good. The engine is not satisfied. The engine is, there's something feel like it's lacking, even though you're moving so fast through life. But then there's still something wrong, and your emotions are trying to tell you that. Pay attention to today. This is such a critical step in total life transformation and inner wealth, to understand how to get these emotions to make your train go down that track in such a healthy way where you're transforming all things at every station in life that you come to, and nothing can transform you. Don't suppress your feelings or instincts. They got a message. Understand and honor your emotions, the caboose of your life. This is the way we came off the assembly line as souls, as spirits. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We came from love. We came from forgiveness. We came from atonement. This is what the soul is full of. This is where we're going back to. We were sent down here as this little train with three little cars: mind, will, and emotions. Right here, the soul, mind, will, and emotions, to go along a track and change every little destination. See, every soul is different. Every little train is different, just like your thumbprint, just like your DNA. The stations that you're going to come to in life is so much different than I'm going to come to, other people are going to come to. We were sent here to transform every station that we stop at in life, and not to be transformed by anything. But we can't do that when we live with the programmed soul, the program ego. So our souls became egos, and you know, we just became doers instead of beings. And this is the way we got programmed. Well, the focus is on the body, the touch, the smell, the sight, the taste, the hear, and do. Got to do this, do that, do that. You better get good grades. You better get this. You better do that. You better do life a certain way. Let me tell you what the station should look like. What track should you run on? You're not on the right track. How many times have you heard that? I heard that all my life from the time I was a baby. You're not on the right track. Um, and so this is my mind. This is the ego mind. This is the divine mind. So let's go down here to understanding our emotions. Folks, it is time that we become so radical about success and happiness that we got to become radical about being healthy. We got to become radical about becoming happy. We got to become radical about being wise. We got to become radical about being wealthy because that is what we're here for, is to transform every station that we come to in life. And being radical is a good thing when it's truly understood. Remember, this is the belief systems. The middle car is the coal. And this is just filled of belief systems. So if the train is not going in the direction that you feel like it's supposed to be going in, it's not moving fast enough, or it's not moving powerful enough, or it's not transforming every station that it comes to, then what we got to do is change the coal. We got to become radical about what our belief systems are, what our habits of thought are. We are here to change all things and be changed by nothing. This is a seminar I did a few years back relating to being radical, relating to or advocating fundamental or revolutionary change in your current practices and conditions, departing markedly from the usual or customary, extreme or drastic. Most marital issues and situations are surrounded either by money, the way, things. A lot of times there's so much stuff in a couple's life that it's dictating to their soul, and their soul becomes their stuff. And we don't become radical and say, let's make a radical change in whatever it is that's hurting our souls, that's our emotions, why we are so triggered all the time. So we got to be radical about this. Three, related to or being surgery or being surgery that is extreme or drastic to eradicate all existing potential disease. Folks, when you're at each other, if in any kind of relationship, at a business and with employees and leaders and whatever it may be, something needs to change. We have to eradicate all existing potential disease, and the potential disease is sitting right there in the coal car, the wheel set. See, you could have the best mindset in the world, but if you don't have the right wheel set, especially the right fuel, it's not going to work. And then the emotions, oh my gosh, you got to have the skill set, and the skill set comes from the emotions. I'm going to show you how and why we need to honor these emotions arising from or going to a root or source. And we got to get down to the source. One who advocates fundamental revolutionary changes in current practices, conditions, or institutions, the institution of a company, the institution of a marriage, the institution of any relationship. One who advocates fundamental revolutionary changes in current practices. That's what we got to do. Favoring fundamental change or change at the root cause of a matter. I deal with a lot of people that are highly successful, and fulfillment is the issue, a vision for their life. And what we do, we just look at it and say, okay, now what are we going to do? And then as I get them to start working on transformation projects, oh my gosh, the whole meaning comes up because they're at a certain station in life. And then we start transforming that station instead of focusing so much on the train. The purpose is not the train. The purpose is the transformation that the train creates. Favoring fundamental change or change the root cause or matter pertaining to the basic or intrinsic nature of something. This is what is so important, that we understand our intrinsic nature and what the train is really all about. And it's not about the train, it's about changing the station that you're currently in. Folks, we got to become radical. This is the little train when it first got down here. This is a train. We're all on the same track, right? And you may say, Fred, this doesn't sound very encouraging to me. I thought your nonprofit was called Encouragement Enterprises International. I thought your whole life was about encouraging people toward courage. Latin word core is all about giving people heart. Folks, this is the truth. This is reality. This is where the train's going. So we got to get radical about our success, about our happiness, our health, our wisdom, and our wealth. And we got to live life by design. Our trains were designed They're not by default. They have a design to them. We have a design. Our soul has a design. So what are we going to do with this train? You know, and this is not where the train was supposed to go. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men in the United States develop cancer. Folks, that was not the purpose of the train. Nearly half of all US adults have some type of cardiovascular disease. That's not where the train was supposed to be. And the train is being transformed instead of the train transforming all things. Obesity, 42%. Number two cause of premature death just beyond smoking. 22.9% of adults meet federal physical activity guidelines. Only 22%. Low of 13.5% in Mississippi. High of 31% in Colorado. Congratulations, Colorado. 50% divorce rate, folks. Why? Is that the way the train was really designed? To come down, fall in love, have his beautiful wedding, and then 3 years later, 5 years later, 20 years later, 40 years later, you hate each other or you're so indifferent to one another? Is that really the way the train was designed? Really? You think so? No, we know it's not. Children between the ages of 15 and 19, suicide. This is where I almost want to, I mean, I'm seriously, if I let myself go, I would cry right now in front of you. Because when I work with people in this age group and I look and listen and think, all they want to know is their intrinsic value. They want to know that they're important to somebody. That's it. Children between the ages of 15 and 19, suicide is the second leading cause of death. And the leading cause of death for 14 to 15 years old. I knew this one was going to get me. And what do we say, though? We say to the train, oh, no, but don't worry about it. I'm going to make you happy. All I need is a little bit better position than I've got. I'll be happy. All I need is some more possessions. I'll be happy. Oh, man, when I get the right power, that's all I need. Well, actually, what it is, all I need is some money. Give me some money. Wrong, folks. It's not the three P's in life. It's understanding the purpose of the train. It's understanding that beautiful mind that we've been given, that engine, understanding that will, that coal car is your belief systems. And those belief systems, what they're doing to you or not doing to you, or doing for you or not doing for you. And your emotions are telling you. I deal with people that are so stuck in a belief systems and they hate every minute of it, but they go and put a smile on it every Sunday or every Saturday or whatever the case may be in their tradition. But deep down inside, they're not fulfilled. And they go, why, Fred? Why? Well, I'll tell you why, because it's the wrong coal and your emotions are telling you that. Or in the relationship, your emotions are telling you it's time to leave the station or to get certain passengers off of your train. Folks, we got to become radical. Twistomology is all about time and wisdom, dancing with that beautiful clock that every 86,400 seconds of every day, dancing with time and wisdom. And every time, every beat of the second of this clock, look at this, folks. This is the train's clock. Okay. An average of 73.3 years on planet Earth. Mankind today lives 73.3 years. What time is it for you? What station are you at? How are you transforming all the stations? Let's talk about the emotions. Remember today's lesson is not sorry to bounce on you. I'm so sorry to do this. It makes you drunk, I know. But don't suppress feelings or instincts. Understand and honor your emotions, the caboose of your life. Folks, you want to radically transform your life. You want to radically transform everything around you. You really want to have inner wealth where every moment that you just every breath and you just adore every breath, you adore every second that clock beats, and you really respect the fact that we're here on a track that is so temporary, not saying, oh, get me off the track. I can't wait to get off this track. I can't wait to go back to the place wherever this train was engineered because that's where the beauty is. No, folks, the beauty is right at every station that you're at. You want that track to last for 100 years, 110 years, 120 years, as long as you can make it last because you're the ones that are bringing the wisdom. The more tracks that the train runs down, life can only be understood, life can only be understood backwards, but it's got to be lived forwards. So hang out with people that are 60s, 70s, 80s and talk to them and say, hey, what's your train like? What stations have you been to in life? Tell me what that station was like. Tell me what that station was like. So, folks, the caboose was so important to the train. As the brakeman and conductor to work and rest on long journeys, it was an observation point where it could look ahead and see if there were some problems, to observe that there's any signs of trouble, such as overheating, that they called hot boxes, on the wheels or in the axles. And if the cargo was shifting, if it would tell that. Folks, think about that for a moment, how that applies to our souls, our mind, will, and emotions. So if you're feeling depressed, the cargo shifted. Or if you're feeling depressed, you have the wrong coal. You have the wrong belief system about who you really are. You're feeling you're not good enough. You feel that you don't have a great train. You feel like that the track designer put you on the wrong track. Folks, you are here to change everything about every station and allow nothing at any station to change you. Braking systems. Before the widespread use of air brakes, caboose crew members were responsible for manually operating the train's brakes. That was signal too. It's really interesting that now that they have electronic systems and all that kind of stuff, it's not needed as much. You see, as more that we become aware, the more we allow time to guide the train down the track. You go, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, okay, I get it now. And you then work on your health, and you work on your happiness, and you work on your wisdom, and you work on your wealth, and you gather the wealth as you come to each station so you can deliver it to other stations that may be more in need. Think about this little train that's going down the track. Go from the little soul train that who could not to the soul train that could. Safety emergency responses. In case of an accident, the caboose carried emergency supplies, first aid kits, and communication tools like flags and flares to alert approaching trains. I'm going to be heading to Sunrise here shortly. And I'm going to go and I'm going to take some of my first aid out of my emotions. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look at that beautiful, engineering plant up there in the sky and saying, God, thank you for that train. Thank you. Thank you so much. But you know what? I know I'm going to pass this emotion up today. I'm going to pass this emotion up. I'm going to post that sadness from one of my coaching clients yesterday. I just wanted to cry for them because they didn't see that they were there to transform that one station that they're in, and that station is changing the train. As trains become more advanced with automatic brakes, so we need to become more and more advanced in our personal journey down the tracks. And it's not the destination, is it? We know where the destination is. It's the journey. So anyway, let become that caboose who can, that soul train who can. To study the caboose. It's really interesting. Honor your emotions today. It's so important that you let it tell you whether you have the wrong coal in the coal car, your will. You could have the best mindset in the world, but it's not going to help if you don't have the right will set. You don't have the right coal in that car. Or if you're not paying attention and you're just suppressing those emotions or you're covering them up, they call it emotional eating, right? Um, you know, Instead of letting the emotions come out and dictate and go change the will set to help change the mind and feed the mind, what do? We give it, right, emotional eating to then the train is even worse. It doesn't do very well, right? So now who created the track? That's the question, isn't it? Who would you be if you didn't know who you were? Ask very wisely, A Course in Miracles, who would you be if you don't know who you were? Folks, you are a soul train. You are a soul train. A Course in Miracles says, I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. It's all laid out. The track is laid out. You were put down that track to change every station you come to in life. Yep, this suggests that the track itself may not be something we always control, but rather how we journey along it with faith and acceptance. Folks, we don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. Change every station that you're in or leave the station. Go to the next station, but take whatever wisdom you learn from the one behind you. And don't keep trying to go down the track looking back at the old station. I've got someone I'm working with right now. We talked about this the last few lessons. Yesterday, a powerful lesson, on guilt and how to eliminate all guilt in your life. And guilt is nothing more than looking back. And how can a train go down the track when you're looking back? I like that. How can a train go down the track when looking back? All right. Thank you for being here. Today's project's very simple. I just constantly want you to see yourself like a little train going down the tracks. And then I want you to ask yourself and be real honest with yourself. What is my emotions trying to tell me? What is this feeling telling me? I want you to look at your cold car and say, what belief system do I really have that's doing it? Because everything's thought. Everything is your habits of thought. And what habits of thought do I have right now that's causing the train not to be chugging along at a really nice pace and not coming to these stations and transforming them? How come I can't transform the station of life that I'm in right now? What's going on? So that's all. That's all it is today. So thank you so much for being here. Become radical, become a radical little soul train and become the train that could. I mean, the soul train that could. Get the little book if you haven't read it in a long time. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that today. Go buy that book. I've bought it for my grandkids, of course, many times. I think I'm going to go get my own copy. Soul Train Who Could Not. We're going to go from this, folks, to the Soul Train Who Could. Thanks for being here today. Go to defalco.com if you're not familiar with the 920 Mastermind. Look up the top tab, 920 Mastermind. Join us there. Make sure you take the habit finder test. Let's find out what coal is in your car. Defalco.com down at the bottom. It's called an X-ray of your mind. Find out what your coal car is full of right now, because that's what that is, the habits of thought. So hopefully I see you over in the mastermind. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much. Become radical today. Really a radical soul in a good way. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.